Welcome to Dream Life Design. This is the course overview. Welcome to the Dream Life model. This is what we're going to use to develop your life plan. The first half is all about unlocking your potential. We're going to start by exploring your identity and who you are as an individual. Develop a sense of inner awareness. And then we're going to do a self-evaluation and reflection and develop an outer awareness by compartmentalizing misery, bliss, and gratitude. And then we're going to develop your aspirations. So we'll really think about what the future can look like and what you're capable of, and really measuring your potential here. And then we're going to establish changes and life missions. So we're going to look at the changes you need to implement in your life in order to reduce misery, increase bliss, and strengthen gratitude. And the missions are basically the results that we're looking for by implementing these changes. And then once we've developed an outlook on life, we can set goals to achieve that outlook, those life missions, and we set those goals in priority order. And then we're going to set objectives to achieve those goals. So breaking down those objectives into research, mindset, and action objectives. So making sure that you accomplish your goals successfully. This is the second half of your life plan. So this is all about unleashing your potential and scaling up towards that dream life. So once you've arrived at a point of fulfillment, when you've really shown yourself what you're capable of and achieved the results that you set out to achieve, you're going to scale that life up by setting immediate goals, intermediate goals, and ultimate goals. So a life plan towards achieving and accomplishing those aspirations. Our first lesson is unleashing your identity. So the lesson outline, we're going to start by looking at who you are and how you define yourself. Then we're going to move on to your motivation. So what motivational needs are you looking to fulfill? Because those basically dictate your behaviors. And then we're going to look at how you're influenced. So who influences these behaviors? How you develop your beliefs. And then we're going to go on to strengthening your identity, which will bring us into the homework exercise by engaging awareness, curiosity, and inner truth. And then we're going to give you some advice and guidance to help you move that along a little bit. Who are you? What's your name, your age, your gender, your ethnic background, your socioeconomic status? What's your sexual orientation? You see, these questions are how we define ourselves or how we're defined by the world around us. So what that does is it essentially distracts you from your innate capabilities. Remember, you're an intelligent being capable of self-actualization. You have unique potential. The only way you're going to start discovering that and connecting to that innate intelligence is by crawling out from under ways you define yourself, because often in society there are restrictions placed on certain elements of your identity. If you start developing a mindset where you are much more than how you present yourself to the world, you are much more to how the world defines you, you'll be able to develop the objectivity you need to really understand which direction you're going in the most healthiest and safest way for you personally. As humans, we're motivated by needs. So for example, when you're hungry, that's essentially how you're motivated to behave and what dictates your identity. The hungrier you get, the more it impacts and influences the way you live your life and how you operate within it. So that's what we're talking about in terms of human needs. And what Abraham Maslow outlined in A Theory of Human Motivation is that we need to have a certain set of needs met before feeling motivated to achieve a certain set of needs. So for example, until we are eating, until we're successfully breathing and we have our physiological needs met, we're not going to be motivated to find friendship and family. However, in Western society, a lot of us have those basic needs met. We have those that access to an abundance of food and water. We have access to security and safety. So naturally, from a very early age, we're motivated to develop a sense of love and belonging. Our community matters to us at that very early age. Who we connect with, our influences are really shaped very quickly and early on. So you can imagine how quickly your belief system can be developed based on a certain set of needs that need to be fulfilled. So if you're looking to develop more sexual intimacy in your life, you're going to shape your identity to encourage that to happen. You're going to shape who you are, and you're going to behave in certain ways in order to increase sexual intimacy in your life. So, and then once you've got that fulfilled, once you feel as if you've got a good grasp of love and belonging, you're going to be motivated then to develop a sense of self-esteem, confidence, and personal achievement. Once you've got a community that has embraced you, you're going to feel the confidence to really carry your potential to the next stage of your life, until eventually we achieve that sense of self-actualization, where we're living a most authentic experience, where we're really tapped into our potential, we're accepting of facts, we're lacking prejudice, and we're moving our lives along in the most healthiest, more mindful manner. And that's how your needs really shape your identity, including your behaviors. So how are you influenced? We already explored the ways in which you define yourself. And basically how you define yourself is based on how you think a certain set of needs are going to be met. So who influences this way of thinking? Who influences your beliefs and suggests that this is how you have to live or behave in order to satisfy a certain level of needs? At infancy and childhood, our earliest influencers are our parents and guardians and siblings. So they're really shaping our beliefs in life. So this is how we're going to get food, and this is how I'm going to achieve self-actualization. We're learning that very early on from our parents and guardians. As we grow older, education, media, and community, so the things we're exposed to, definitely start shaping how certain needs are going to be met. So for example, at home, when certain needs are met, maybe someone you meet outside of the home shows you a different way, or opens your experience up to a different way that those needs can be met. So now your identity is reshaping and reforming and further developing. In adolescence and early adulthood, society, intimacy, and entertainment become priorities, because that's what we see in the TV and media. It tells us that we should be doing this at this age, and we should be experiencing this at this age. So naturally, we start shaping our identities in order to fulfill these needs. What happens is, instead of moving our lives forward in a more natural state, so instead of moving our motivations in the direction that they're intended in the most innate way possible, we're externalizing that behavior. So basically, the world around us is telling us what needs have to be met at what stage of life. So it creates this sense of pressure or expectation, and we start developing that at adolescence and early adulthood. Early adulthood to adulthood. So now we're looking at what's the best way to satisfy our independence, our own safety and security. What's going to satisfy our sense of a personal sense of love and belonging. What's going to satisfy our needs for self-esteem and confidence and achievement. So we're going to look to shape our identities and move our lives forward in the way that we think we're going to satisfy those needs best. We look at life experiences and start mimicking behaviors and the way people are in order to achieve that state or that feeling for ourselves. Adulthood to maturity, so politics, news, and responsibility really start kicking in at that stage of life, because you've really learned a lot about how to settle certain level of needs, and how successfully you fulfill those needs are really determined by politics and news and the responsibility we have to the world. And as we grow into later stages of life, we're looking more towards value and fulfillment, enjoying the years that we have left. So what we're trying to do, and what we're trying to develop here with your sense of who you're influenced by, make health a primary influence. Think about your life and moving it forward. And as you grow older, whenever you feel lost, whenever you feel as if you don't have any sense of direction, think back to how you're motivated. What needs are you looking to fulfill in that moment in time? And then start your journey and your planning there. Not where you think you should be, but where you actually are. So how do we strengthen your identity? Remember, your identity dictates the direction of your life. How do we get back onto a truer and more authentic experience in life? How do we connect back on that journey towards self-actualization more naturally? Well, one of the aspects we need to start exploring is curiosity. What are you curious about? What's really guiding you to learn and experience and develop life? because as individuals, our identities matter because that's what directs our purpose and our passion. So we need to really explore the very things that make us curious in order to develop, learn, and evolve. So then we also need to really connect with our truth as well. What inner truths do you need to face? This is why breaking your identity down into motivation is really important, because it makes you put certain health aspects of your life as a priority. If you're not feeling like your physiological needs are fully met, then maybe you need to face that truth and scale back your life to take care of those basic needs first. Maybe you're not feeling esteemed as you should, then maybe you need to face those truths so that you can get back on a truer path in life. And then we're also going to look at awareness as well. What are you aware of that needs to change? Look at your life experience. What restrictions are in your life that have kept you from progressing forward? What can you contribute your potential to? So when you develop your awareness, you develop a sense of social responsibility. You start looking to the world and how to best navigate through it and how to make it a better experience for others as well. That's where your social responsibility really kicks in. So start developing awareness of the world around you. See what's going on that has maybe kept your identity at bay. Engage your curiosity. Curiosity really develops a sense of confidence. And once you start becoming more confident, you start wanting to have more experiences in life. And based on the experiences you're going to be having, you're going to want to know what your economic responsibility is. So what do you need to earn or accumulate? What resources do you need to continue engaging that sense of curiosity and to continue developing and moving your life forward? And the other element of your identity is to face your truth and start developing a personal responsibility to start taking care of yourself so that you can really enjoy the experience you're going to be building with your dream life. So here's your homework exercise then. So first I want you to realize an area of development, then lift the restriction keeping you from developing, and then develop from this revelation, from this level of awareness. So understand an area of development that you need to move forward in your life. Then you need to lift the restrictions that's keeping you from moving forward. And then we need to develop from this awareness. So once you've understood the restriction, then you've got to work on lifting it and guiding your life forward in a happy and healthy direction. So the homework exercise is to first develop an awareness. What do you believe in but have never confirmed? What's kept you from confirming any beliefs that you have about yourself and the world around you? And how can you develop your awareness safely? So this is looking at developing an awareness around you. What have you been taught that you've never really confirmed? Have you looked at alternative sources? Have you looked at other facts? Have you done your research? Have you developed that sense of awareness? Explore curiosity. What's something you've been curious to explore but never have done? What's kept you from exploring? What were the restrictions keeping you from exploring something you were curious about? And how can you explore this curiosity safely? So how can you develop from this revelation? How can you develop from being aware of what's kept you from exploring? And access truth, same 1, 2, 3 step, realize an area of development. What have you been keeping to yourself? 2, lift the restriction keeping you from developing. What's kept your truth at bay? What's kept you from revealing that truth? What's kept you from expressing yourself? And then 3, develop from that revelation. So how can you express and explore your truth safely? How can you engage that truth safely? So think about that. That's your homework exercise. And if you can, please do document it. Start journaling, keeping an inner log to yourself, just so that you can track your progress. Because the next lesson, we're going to start developing your life plan off of this awareness. So advice and guidance on strengthening your identity. Remember, we're trying to get you back to a state of personal control where you feel as if you're in control of your life's experience and you're moving yourself towards a state of actualization. That development starts today. So we're going to look at ways you can develop awareness. You can volunteer, you can attend community events, get involved with the world around you. Attend seminars and conferences. Maybe there's something you need to learn. Maybe you need to obtain some knowledge in order to strengthen your awareness. And of course, developing a life plan, which is what we're going to do over the next few lessons in order to help you strengthen that sense of awareness as well. Exploring curiosity. Curiosity really leads to a state of confidence. I like to recommend creating a bucket list and taking care of the things that you can within the current resources that you have. And then start checking things off as you develop. Again, these lead to economic aspiration. So if there's things that you want to experience in your life, then you're going to be motivated to attain the resources to do so. Develop a list of fears. One way to develop confidence is to conquer fear. Develop a list of fears and start taking care of the ones that you think you can handle, and slowly increase that confidence so that you're really ready to take charge of your life. And start saying yes to things that pique your interest. There's no harm in delving into curiosity. The only restriction really is what you think other people are going to think of you, what society is going to think of you. Do you live your own life, explore your own curiosity, really learn about your potential, and develop your identity based on what you need as opposed to what you think you need or how you think you're going to satisfy that need. Navigate yourself to a truer experience of life by connecting with your curiosity. Accessing truth. Seek support, attend support groups, start a reflective diary, and meditate. Do what you need to do in order to safely and securely access that inner truth. Really start being true with yourself and start engaging your life the way it should be engaged. Stop letting the world define what your life is going to be like. Start deciding that for yourself by experiencing fulfillment now. Develop an awareness, realize restrictions, realize the social responsibility, give yourself a sense of purpose and direction. Explore curiosity, give yourself the confidence to really delve in to your life and experience the life that you want to build. And then access some of that truth, really relieve yourself and liberate yourself from any restrictions keeping you from moving forward. So the lesson summary, who are you is what we started looking at first. How do you define yourself? How do you understand your identity? And then what motivates you? So what's motivating you to shape your identity the way you have? What needs are you looking to fulfill? And how are you influenced? So how do you think these needs are going to be fulfilled? Who taught you or what taught you that this is the way to fulfill these needs? Then we moved on how to strengthen your identity and develop a more authentic, more innate experience in life. And then the homework exercise was to start delving into curiosity, awareness, and truth. And then there was also some advice and guidance to help you get there. So start engaging curiosity, develop that awareness, and start accessing that inner truth, and prepare yourself for the next lesson. The next lesson is self-evaluation and reflection. We're going to look at compartmentalizing misery, bliss, and gratitude. So we're going to develop a list of misery and identify the things that keep us from moving our lives forward. We're going to identify bliss, so the things that make us feel happy and joyful, that make us feel alive. And then we're going to look at identifying gratitude, so the very things that we turn to keep us alive. And then there's a homework exercise, which is going to help you develop the first stage of your life plan. And then there's the art of decision making, which is all about teaching you how to make more mindful decisions. Thank you for making it through to the end, and we'll see you next lesson.